good people of the internet? My name is Hexa, and welcome back to my channel where we are all about trying new things, increasing our health and happiness, and overcoming our fears. We're a little past halfway through 2020, and I think this really has not turned out to be the year that any of us were expecting. Everyone was so excited that it was gonna be the roaring 20s again, but instead of fun and parties and flapper girls, we got a plague. It's been a really shitty year, to say the least, for most of us, but I thought now would be a good time to look back on our hopes and dreams for 2020 that we set at the beginning of the year and just remind ourselves a little bit of the things that we can control. When everything is out of control, it's easy to just sit down, give up, and admit defeat because none of our plans are going according to plan. But we need to keep in mind that there's actually still a lot of things that we do have control over and a lot of ways in which we can still finish this year off strong. So in this video, I'm gonna look back over the New Year's resolutions that I wrote down in my bullet journal at the beginning of the year and see how I'm doing on those things and which of those goals I can still find a way to reach by the end of the year. So we have our 2020 bullet journal, hopes and dreams. If you also wrote down your New Year's resolutions, I invite you to do the same. Open up that list and look over what resolutions you set and which ones you can still reach by the end of the year. Remind yourself that you do still have control over some things. I think it's really important to do a check-in at least every quarter with your New Year's resolutions because keeping them fresh in your mind is the surefire way to encourage you and help you to reach them. Okay, so read 30 books. I'm totally not on track with this one at all. I have not done nearly as much reading as I wanted to, but can I still read 30 books by the end of this year? I think so, yeah. I'm gonna have to do a lot more reading, but this is a goal that I can reach. Up next is to meditate regularly. Another one that I haven't really stuck to, but I still have the time to create a regular meditation habit by the end of this year if I want to. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. The moment that you make it a all or nothing kind of goal is the moment that it becomes impossible and you kind of defeat yourself and shoot yourself right in the foot from the beginning. Allow space for mistakes, allow space for failure. Just know that every day is a new beginning and every moment you can decide from this moment on to start moving in the direction that you want to be going in. Number 3, start my business. I actually have done this. I started an art and jewelry business. I've sold a few things. It's definitely still very, very small. Like, I'm investing so much more into it than I'm actually getting back in sales, but I started the business. Now, I don't know how long it's gonna take for me to feel like it's a real respectable business, how much profit I need to make from it before I feel validated, but it's there, you know, the business has been started. And if you want to support my business, the link is down below, hexacreates.bigcartel.com. Launch a Skillshare course. This was a goal that I had in mind at the beginning of this year, but honestly, I feel like I want to remove this from my list of goals right now because I guess I've lost confidence a little bit. I had some ideas for some Skillshare courses I wanted to create, but now I've kind of backpedaled a little bit and convinced myself that I don't have the level of expertise required to create a course worth taking. I don't know if that's just imposter syndrome or if this was just an overly ambitious goal to begin with. I would still have the time to do it if I wanted to, but I think for now I want to focus more on my YouTube channel and my business and find my path. Find something that I really want to be known for, find something that I really want to help people and educate people on. So a Skillshare course is still something that might be in my future, but I just want to kind of like take a pause, take a break, and kind of try to explore some options first. I also wanted to move to Hamburg this year. That is not in the cards for me anymore. I mean, who knows, really? Like, if my channel blows up in the next couple months and I like magically start making like $10,000 a month in ad revenue, this might still happen, you know? But I think right now, financially and just in terms of everything that's going on in the world at the moment, this is not it's not the right time. I quit my job back in March as well, and now I'm just kind of like trying to make the entrepreneurship path work for me. So being at home with my family is kind of where I need to be for me and for them. My sister just started middle school, and you know, we kind of help each other out, and I think Eastern European families especially were a lot like more close-knit, where Western countries tend to value individualism more, and I value that too, like individualism and independence, but at the same time, Eastern European families thrive a lot on community and togetherness, even if we drive each other crazy most of the time. But I think especially with everything going on in the world right now, it's just like not the best time to make any big life changes. So for now, until I figure something out financially for myself, I'm kind of staying put. My next goal was to get down to a 22% body fat percentage, and I actually started a diet a few weeks ago, so I'm kind of like on the right track, on the path towards 22%. 22% is quite ambitious because I think it's just a little bit above the athletic range of body fat percentage for women. So this is not something I expect to be easy. I don't know if I'll reach this goal by the end of the year, but I think it's still possible with just like a lot of work, a lot of exercise, and a lot less chocolate and chips and yummy, unhealthy things. This year, I wanted to launch 365 Days Brave, which was a YouTube channel all about mental health and overcoming anxiety one day at a time, and I launched that channel. And then, as you know, in the last month or two, I decided to rebrand this channel to where a lot of the content on this channel encompasses the type of content that I was planning for 365 Days Brave. So it's almost more like the content I was supposed to be making for that channel has been moved over to this channel, and I've kind of just put that aside so I can focus on my main channel, but make it closer to my values and the type of videos that I wanted to make for 365 Days Brave in the first place. The last thing on my list of goals for 2020 was to complete 100 bucket list items. Looking back, this was definitely overly ambitious, and I made two lists at the beginning of this year. I made a list of goals and a list of dreams. And the idea was that the goals would be the things that were within my control, whereas the dreams would be things that also needed a fair amount of luck to accomplish. And I definitely feel like I kind of put this item in the wrong category. I put it down as a goal as though I had a lot of control over it, when the truth is that 100 bucket list items adds up to a lot of time, a lot of money, and you really need a very solid and significant source of income and abundance of time to be able to accomplish so many fun, exciting activities. So moving forward, I'm not going to put so much pressure on myself to complete a certain number of bucket list items in a set amount of time, but rather just make sure that I am looking back over my list frequently, remembering what it was that I wanted to do, and just remembering to have fun and create memorable moments in my regular life. So those were my 2020 goals and where I'm at with each of them. I definitely feel like there's a lot of time left. There's a fair bit of time left. You know, I tend to be a person who believes that anything can happen, and a lot of the things that are on that list are within my control. I can definitely change things in my own life, in my own routine, to make some of those things happen. And any of those items that require more luck, you know, it's just kind of like who knows what can happen. But I don't want to get too much into that. All I really wanted for this video was to remind everybody to go back over, look at your New Year's resolutions if you wrote any of them down, and see where you are. See if you're on track, and if you're not, is there a way that you can catch up? And also, try not to be too hard on yourself or to try to control the uncontrollable, because that is just a sure path to unhappiness and feeling like a failure, even though, like, what could you have done to prevent what is going on in the world right now? It's definitely been a hard time, not the best time to manifest great things, but also opportunities are always out there, and I think as long as you're working, as long as you're moving forward, making an effort, and focusing on the things you can control, there's a lot of positive change you can create in your life. You have a lot more power than you probably think you do. And it's been nice for me to look over these goals now and come into them with like a refreshed perspective and renewed sense of excitement to accomplish them. In this video, I haven't talked about the dreams that were on my list, the uncontrollable, big, luck requiring dreams that I set out for myself for 2020, but those could also happen. I mean, it's not very, very highly likely, but it could happen. I don't know. I think it's important to always keep on dreaming, but also to keep one foot on the ground and just kind of find that balance between setting realistic goals that you can control while also being open to the possibilities for you to accomplish more than you could have ever dreamed. So many of the wealthiest, most famous people in the world today were in such bad places in their lives when they caught a lucky break and everything just changed for them pretty much overnight. And that sounds a bit like a fairy tale, but at the same time, it's possible for anybody as long as you're putting yourself out there and you're kind of just like open to receiving what the world has to offer. So go back, look at your list, look at your goals, see how you're doing, see if you need to make some edits, make some changes. Are there things that were on your list of goals that are no longer relevant or realistic for you right now? Don't feel bad about putting those things behind you. I think sometimes we tend to latch on to things and just like push and push and push and push, even when we're not feeling it anymore, just because we don't want to fail or we don't want to give up. But if you find something that calls your energy and your attention more, if you find something that has more potential, if there's a direction that you really, really want to go on and you feel like it's really for you, but you need to sacrifice an older goal or an older idea in order to make that thing happen, don't be afraid to let the past go and move forward. We are constantly growing and changing and evolving. Our ideas are constantly changing. We are realizing things about ourselves, especially during this time. And I think it's important to stay true to that at all times and just recognize that it's okay to change your mind about things. It's okay to realize that you no longer want something that you wanted before. Just like I said, I wanted to move to Hamburg. I still want to move to Hamburg, but maybe this year is not the best year to do that. Maybe I need to take advantage of the extra time I've had on my hands to try to create something amazing for myself, for my life, for my future. I won't go on much longer. I think you guys see the point. I'm really excited to know what you guys have been planning for 2020, what you guys are working on, and what goals you think you can still achieve by the end of the year. So please leave those in the comments. I would love to know what your goals and dreams were for this year. If you like me and you like my channel, there is a link down in the description box where you can donate to support me and this channel, and you also get access to all kinds of exclusive content. You can also buy something from my art shop, and all of the links to my social media are down below if you want to follow me over there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!